Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our second day of the International Conference IMAT 2025. Today, we will explore some activities such as mobility labs, joint tools, mobility exhibitions, and long-term strategies for 360 degrees mobility. It is a pleasure for us to have you all here. The first panel we'll have, it's going to be about mobility labs and exhibitions. It's a discussion that will showcase innovative practices and collaborative outcomes across the consortium. Please welcome our panelists, Cesar Miranda, Camilo Bonilla, Lina Sena, Renata Arcanjo, and Johanna Kabel.
Hello, good morning. I will do a brief presentation about the Mobility Labs and Exhibition. I'm Brito Júnior, and I'm from the University of Fortaleza. So the mobility exhibitions and the mobility labs were the first activities under the implementation phase of the IMAT project. And the mobility exhibitions highlight the significant efforts undertaken by PUC-P, PUG, and Unifor to promote international mobility among students, academic staff, and non-academic staff. These activities, tailored to the unique context and needs of each institution, represent a critical phase of the IMAT project, as I mentioned, the implementation phase. This report examines the implemented activities and complements the efforts across the partners' institutions, emphasizing the importance of adaptation to local realities and institutional goals. The partners' institutions involved in the activities in the mobility exhibitions were Pontifícia Universidade Católica del Peru, Pontifícia Universidade Javeriana, em Colômbia, e a Universidade de Fortaleza, in Brazil. The objects of the mobility exhibitions were raise awareness by informing the academic community, the students, faculty, and staff about the benefits and opportunities of international mobility programs, and to promote internationalization by encouraging the hosting higher education institutions to embrace and integrate internationalization strategies. The type of activities promoted in the events were showcases, presentations, testimonials, panel discussions to attract at least 100 participants from the academic community of each institution. Well, by addressing the unique needs of the communities, embracing innovation, and prioritizing sustainability, the partners institutions have laid a strong foundation for fostering global engagement. These achievements underscore the importance of collaboration, adaptability, and commitment of advancing the goals of internationalization within higher education. Now to talk more about the mobility labs, these activities hosted by UCSP, UFRN, and Uniandes represent a significant phase in the project, also the implementation phase. It highlights the diversity of approaches adopted by the institutions, reflecting the unique priorities, results, and target audiences. The partners institutions involved were Universidade Católica de São Paulo, in Peru, Universidade Federal do Rio Grande do Norte, in Brazil, and Universidade de Los Andes, here in Colombia. The objectives of the mobility labs were to make information about internationalization more accessible for the community, actively involve the academic community in activities about the international experiences, and build build a well-informed academic community ready to participate in instrumental mobility experiences. The type of the activities, different from the mobility exhibitions, were more hands-on and experimental learning, interactive formats, workshops, focus groups, word cafes, quizzes, and case studies, dynamic and initiative participation to attract and involve at least 80 participants of each institution. Well, these activities, the Mobility Lab successfully promoted international mobilities and among students, academic staff, and non-academic staff. Furthermore, the report emphasized the innovative aspect of these activities, sustainability plans envisioned by the institutions, and the feedback gathered from participants, providing a comprehensive understanding of the project's impact. And now I will pass the word to Yadira to make some questions.
Okay, so throughout your experience having those mobility labs and exhibitions, which innovative approach, such as interactive workshops, intercultural fairs, peer-to-peer formats, or digital tools, proved most effective in engaging your community in mobility, and what made it impactful?
I'll start. Thank you, Yadira. My name is Joana Cabell. I'm from Universidad Católica San Pablo. I currently coordinate academic mobility. And for us at UCSB, what worked very well were the student mobility program initiatives, such as student talks that we did. Usually we used to do the general sessions with the students where we as the mobility team used to talk about the procedure of the mobility, etc. But what we noticed with these student talks is that we made more approachable the students, the outgoing students, the past outgoing students, and our incoming students from that semester. They had to give like a TED Talk to our community. So that was more approachable because the students are our community had the chance to talk more about or ask more questions than when they used to do it with us because they were really shy, etc. So that helped us a lot. It was a whole week of these sessions, these TED Talks. We had 2 or 3 countries per day, and we did it on campus. So it was really beautiful. Actually, you saw the pictures yesterday with our mascot that it's called Sammy. So it was very interactive for our students. And then the second activity that we did that it was different than what we used to do was the one-on-one sessions with our students. It was more attractive for the students because they had the opportunity to ask us the questions that usually when they do the general, when we do the general sessions, they're shy to do, etc. So that made it impactful because it was engaging for the students and us, and they had the opportunity to come closer. They had more questions about the mobility. Actually, we had more students postulating to the calls afterwards. So those were the 2 activities more impactful for us.
Thank you, Joana. Renata.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Renata Arcanjo. I'm from Natal, Federal University of Rio Grande do Norte in Brazil. And we held mobility labs within our university. And for us, it was interesting because we were used to do, like, we used to have annually an international day. But this international day was more like an international fair. It was more like an opportunity for students to come and to know about mobility experiences and opportunities with people coming from agencies, international agencies, to talk about opportunities and so on. And so we decided, with the opportunity of the Mobility Labs, to implement some workshops and to offer them the opportunity to reflect about internationalization and to know more about what is possible, what internationalization means, and what is possible for them to do. And so for the first time, we did like a sort of conference, and we choose as a theme internationalization at home, because for us, we survey before, and we realized that people used to come to us, the international office, more individually, and when it was in their best interest to do a mobility. But then the whole community was not aware of our work, of what was possible for them to do, and particularly what was possible for them to do without leaving the country. So we choose internationalization at home as a subject. And we had a conference with a guest, a speaker, about that. And the community was invited. We were very surprised because it was a crowded auditorium, which is rare, full with students, with administrative staff, and with professors. And then we did, as a second activity, workshops. And the workshops were with students and workshops with administrative staff. And the innovative thing that we did, it's because we asked them before the workshop several questions about internationalization, about mobility, about internationalization at home. And then we conduct the workshop. The same guest, the same speaker, the same keynote speaker that gave the conference in the morning, participate in the afternoon to the workshops. And then we had an activity within the workshop, and in the end, they did the same questionnaire, answering the questions to see how if they change their perception and their insights about that. And it was really, really interesting. We had a lot of good feedbacks saying that for the first time, we were asking them what they want, what they think about, what they understand about internationalization, and they were aware that all the possibilities that they have. And so we did the same with the professors. After that, they asked us to repeat the experience and to go further, because we have several campuses in the university, not only the main campuses in the capital, but other campuses in the interior of the state, in the countryside. And so they asked them to go there as well, to reach the students and the academic staff there. So it was really enriching for the community to participate and to engage in the Mobility Labs activity.
Thank you, Renata. How about you, Lina?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lina Sena from the University of Fortaleza in Brazil. And I'm a supervisor there for the mobility exchange programs. So for us at Uni4, we decided to do the Internationalization Week. So the first Internationalization Week, we did it in 2024. On November, and we got together with the whole community, with all the professors and coordinators to decide the theme for the week. The first one, we didn't have a theme, but we want to get the whole university, the 4 centers that we have at the university, engaged with this project, and so they can, with their students, have an agenda for the week, and with their students, so they can also participate and present what they have been doing in classes or presenting. So we decided the first week was November, from the second week of November 2024, involving all the centers. And then this year, for the first week, we had about maybe 500 people registered to participate. We have more than 6 lectures and presenters involving students, professors, the graduate programs, also the whole university is involved with that week. So this week we did it again, and we had a team for that. There was good people, good vibes. So the whole university and the 4 centers, they also got together and tried to present things or projects that they did through the year to present during the week for everybody. And we also have it in person, also through YouTube. And for the second time of the Internationalization Week, we had more than 600 people register for that, about 80 presenters, including all the centers. The 4 centers that we have at Uni4 is the Communication and Management, the Health Science, the Law, and the Technological Science Center, and the graduate programs. So everybody will be doing something, presenting something. And for next week, for next year, we are also having the Internationalization Week happening again on May. So after this, when we get back next week, we're having a meeting with everybody involved, all the professors, the coordinators, to decide the activities for the following, for our Internationalization Week 2026. So it's hard to do to get everybody involved with that, but at the end we see that everybody get really involved and see the internationalization happen inside of the university, like from yesterday and what we hear every day here in this project, that we face the same issues, the same problems, but the important is that we try to get everybody together and being talking on the same pace. If we reserve a week or a day or a month to talk about internationalization and make it part of the events of your institution, that will happen. And people will start to enjoy and be working for that. And that's what we are feeling that it's happening in our university right now.
Thank you, Lina.
Good morning. I'm Camilo Bonilla from Pontificia Universidad Javeriana. And on October 2023, we organized a mobility exhibition on our campus. I can say that the most impactful activity we had during this mobility exhibition was the Student Mobility Fair. I know that these kind of fairs are usually hosted by some partners universities, but in our case, in Javeriana, it was our first time doing such a thing. And it was very interesting because even though some students know the possibilities they had to go abroad and do a semester, an exchange semester, when they know, they go to our office. But we are sure that there are a lot of students that don't know that they have the possibility to go abroad on an exchange semester. So being there in the middle of the campus with music and food as well allowed a lot of students to come by and to be aware of all these possibilities. We also invited language learning centers as well. And we also invited some Colombian universities because here in Colombia we have a very strong national mobility program. So we decided to invite them as well, so our students could know that they have the chance to go abroad or go to other universities within the country and, of course, here in Bogota as well. Another impactful activity that we developed during this day was 2 backcasting sessions that we made with our design factory at the university. One was intended for academic staff, so they can imagine like a proper mobility program for professors and researchers at the university, because right now we don't have such a thing. Only our Vice Presidency for Research has some resources to promote this kind of mobilities, but only for researchers, but not for professors. So we work together with our Vice Presidency of Academic Affairs and Administrative Affairs as well. And we invite professors, so they start imagining how this kind of program will be in 6 years, for example. And with all those insights, we start working with some areas at the university to start creating this kind of mobility program, both for academic and non-academic staff. And finally, we developed another activity that I liked a lot. It was a very simple idea, but it was a mobility photo exhibition. So we asked our students who had the chance to go abroad and to share through photos their experiences. And we printed those photos, and they were all around the university, so other students can see and can know that they had also the chance to go abroad and have this kind of amazing experience. And well, that was about it.
Great.
Okay, and finally, Cesar.
Yes, thank you. I'm César Miranda from Pontificia Universidad Católica del Perú. And we did 2 activities in terms of mobility exhibitions. Firstly, the program gave us the flexibility, of course, to come up with new ideas. So at our university, we had fairs, virtual fairs, and everything. So we thought we should do something different, because this is our chance. We have the funding, we have the opportunity to do something different. So we proposed 2 activities. The first one was called speed dating, because when you go on a fair, you as a manager or the one that is offering a mobility program, you are the one interacting with students. But it's very different when students interact between students. So they have the chance to ask more practical questions or more intimate questions. So we organize this as a speed dating format. We call students from previous years, and we ask them to share their experience one-on-one to students that were interested in going to those destinations. So it was complex, the organization, because you had to think, or you have to do this matchmaking, having students talking to students that are interested in the same things. So, but it was quite good, actually. We had more than 150 matches. Like, they shared their experience, they talked about practical stuff, and in the end, the feedback was very positive. Students wanted to do it again, and it wasn't that costly at all. It was just a venue that you had to organize in a speed dating format, and then students would come and sit and move from one seat to the other. And we just offer them snacks while they talk. They can eat something, try to make it as informal as possible for them to feel comfortable to ask whatever they want about exhibition or mobilities. So that was one activity. The other one was very interesting as well and very impactful. It's called the PUCP Internationalization Awards. So it's an award ceremony, an award like the Oscars, let's say, for internationalization. So we thought 2 things, 2 questions. The word exhibition, how to exhibit what's going on in terms of internationalization inside the university. And there were two questions, like I said, behind it. The first one was, do we really know what's going on in internationalization in the university, apart from mobility? Of course, we as international officers, we handle mobility, but there are many other things going on, like internationalization of the curriculum, internationalization at home, international research, international outreach, people doing interesting stuff in terms of interculturality. All of those things we don't necessarily know. So what we did was organize this award ceremony in order to discover what was going on in the university. And we asked, that is the first question. And the second question is more related to how do we recognize the efforts of people doing these interesting things. So maybe, because yesterday we were talking about it, like people do things in terms of internationalization, but they don't necessarily get paid more or recognized at all. They just do it because they like it, they want to do it. So it would be a good idea if someone at least said thank you to them for what you do. So that was the other aspect of this award ceremony. It helped us in the first aspect to discover what was going on. And we asked them to self-nominate, to tell us what they were doing. I was scared at the beginning because I wasn't sure, because this was the first edition. I wasn't sure if people were going to send us their submissions, if people were going to tell us, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing a COIL initiative or something. I wasn't sure. But in the end, we had more than 100 submissions. And it was incredible because they were telling us, we didn't go out and discover, they were telling us what they were doing. It was very good. And we organized the ceremony in 8 different categories because we found out that people were doing interesting things in mobility, in internationalization of the curriculum. They were people representing the university abroad, in events, getting recognized abroad, but not inside. What else? People doing research, that of course they're very capable of getting funding for international research, but at home, their work wasn't necessarily visible. So we organized 8 different categories, and the thinking was the university has 3 missions. It's teaching, researching, and engaging with the environment. So we organized these categories around these 3 aspects of the university's missions. And another different aspects are more related to internationalization itself, mobility, at home, research, etc. So, okay, we had the information and everything, and then the next task was to organize this ceremony and make sure that people felt recognized, properly recognized. So one night, me and a couple of colleagues sat down and watched the Oscar ceremony. How do they do it? So they have people coming to the stage and thanking to their families and their colleagues for support and everything. So we try to replicate the Oscars. Like we had 3 nominated finalists for every category, and when we announced them, we show their videos on the screen, like this project from Professor blah 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 is being nominated in this category, number 1, number 2, number 3. People were there, and then they stood up, and then we announced the winner, and the winner had to come and give a speech. It was like the Oscars. Like, it was incredible. Even one professor, I always remember, came to receive his award, and he mentioned that he was working with X university in the US because his father worked with that university before, and then it was a way to connecting with his late father. And he even dropped a few tears when saying that, so it was like the Oscars, really. Yeah. And people, at the end, the feedback was very, very positive. Like they told us, we thought you didn't see us. We thought you didn't care about us. And they say, thank you for recognizing us. Thank you for being there to support us. And it was quite rewarding to hear that, actually. People, it's a human reaction, to be recognized for your work, to say thank you, and then connecting with others. And then at the end of the ceremony, we had a space for them to network, to do some networking, because in a university we tend to be isolated. If we are from the Faculty of Law, we don't necessarily talk to the Faculty of Engineering and things like that. So this networking space at the end of the ceremony was key for them to connect, to learn from others, because we were dealing with people that are very much interested in internationalization, and have them all together talking, sharing their ideas was also an interesting thing to have, because we expect to have these initiatives multiplied in the future. And it was quite a success. That's so that the president of the university and the head of the international office decided to replicate the thing. And it's going to happen now, next week. We're going to have the second edition, and we have even more submissions, and we hope that it's going to be great next week. I have a colleague of mine here who is heading the organization of this event this year. Alison, she's here. And we expect that it continues. And it's a way of IMAT to have a legacy in the university, because IMAT will continue being the inspiration behind this award ceremony. And it was great.
Thank you, Cesar. So now, as you can see, there were many ideas, there were many projects, many activities. In one word, what was the main challenge of the activities?
Logistics.
Okay.
Really, one word?
Yeah.
I don't know, engaging people, convincing people to participate.
Good.
Hard. Let me think. Pretty much the same, but it's rewarding.
Rewarding.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say engaging as well, but also lack of funding for students and staff.
Okay.
More than a challenge, I would say that teamwork makes the difference. In our event, everybody did something. Carry things, design stuff, choose this or that. Teamwork was key.
Okay. So we have time maybe for one question from the audience and one question from the participants online, if we have any. Anybody would like to ask something? Or comment something?
Yep. You all have very extensive experience in internationalization, but maybe there was one thing that surprised you that you've never seen or heard before while organizing your events.
Anybody would like to answer that? What was something that surprised you during the organization of the event?
In our case, the level of engagement, actually. That yes, if it's me and they ask me to show off my work, it doesn't come naturally for me to like say, oh, I did this and I won an award. It doesn't come natural for me. So my expectation was people will not send me their work, but I was quite surprised to see that people want to share their work, and I'm learning from them as well, learning how to share my work. That was surprising, the level of engagement. Yeah.
Anybody else would like to answer that?
Well, just to add, I think for us at Uni4 also, before, it's a lot of work involved, it's a lot of people to think and to organize, a lot of things to organize, but after, when it's really happened, and you will see all the people involved and get seeing that we are not doing for one department, we are doing for everybody, for the whole university, and for ourselves. So the students, they also feel, we can see on their face that they feel important to present what they learn through the year, their experience, what they do, and share that to everybody, and see the whole university involved, even though we get lost at the beginning, when was the first meeting to organize the Internationalization Week, everybody was lost. Even though the university has been working with internationalization for many years, it was kind of separate. We didn't really get the whole university together to show what everybody was doing in the professors doing with their students in the classrooms, the coordinators, and the researchers, and everybody, and present that to the whole university. It's really, really, at the end, very rewarding for everybody. And see everybody getting used to it now. Now that we are going through the third meeting to organize everything, we see that people are more relaxing, getting into the internationalization at home.
Thank you so much. Well, this was the first panel of today. Thank you, Cesar, Camilo, Lina, Renata, and Johanna for your presentations and your thoughts on this.